How y'all doing? Welcome back to Media Literacy is Dead on Silver's Corner. I'm Silver. What's up? I've recorded this video 3 times now. So if I'm talking really fast or I'm looking down, it's because I have notes, and I also have no patience for this shit anymore. But today we're going to be talking about Arcane. Obviously, I'm an Echo cosplay because that's my man. Duh. Back off, bitches. He's mine. Thank you. We're going to be talking about Arcane. We're going to go through the different acts 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to give you guys some final thoughts that I feel like need to be said. I'm going to be talking about some topics that I think deserve a bit more nuance. Things I agreed with, things I disagreed with, things I liked, things I didn't like. Da 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 da. So, without further ado, let's get into this shit. Finally! Starting strong with Act 1. I hated the Vi Enforcer Act. Anybody else, or was that just me? It just felt like forced propaganda, and I didn't appreciate that she felt almost caged in by the expectations of others and by her need to feel different than Jinx. And I also didn't appreciate that it was Caitlyn applying that pressure because she was supposed to be her love interest. So I'm like, why are you making me feel like I need to be something different in order to be worthy of love? I didn't like that. Like, when she handed her the badge and then she turned it down, she was like, I thought you were different. That was kind of a low blow. Was that just a low blow for me or what? Because I didn't care for that. And Bessa taking advantage of Caitlyn's grief doesn't excuse her literally gassing the people of Zaun. Who said that? It was me, bitch. I take accountability and responsibility for the words that just came out of my mouth, and fight me about it. If you disagree, I don't give a shit. You could argue that Caitlyn and Jinx are like parallel in the same way that their grief is being taken advantage of by like a stronger and more domineering person. I'd say it's a little different because Jinx grew up surrounded by heartache and was a literal child when Silco entered her life. Caitlyn was a fully fledged adult when Mbessa came and had suffered one injustice from the Undercity and lost her fucking mind. And the Caitlyn defenders usually bring up Jinx as a comparison. Like, oh, how do you like Jinx if you don't like Caitlyn? Like, that doesn't make any sense. 1, ACAB. Need I say more? I will, though. 2, I just because I understand Caitlyn doesn't mean I agree with the things she's done. And it also doesn't mean that I like her. Like, and 3, Jinx suffered a whole lot more than Caitlyn. Like, if we're playing the Impression Olympics, she gets all of the gold medals, bitch. Like, and she still directed her anger toward the people responsible. She bombed the council. Caitlyn gassed the Undercity. And I don't understand what's this new narrative of people not understanding what fucking gas is and how it works. Unless you stuck Jinx in a gas chamber, the gas that you released affected more than just Jinx. Like, that's not how gas fucking works. You do get that, right? Like, if you release gas into the streets, it's everywhere now. Like, you didn't just gas her. You also shot at a child, which was crazy. And a lot of people like to argue she's a sharpshooter. She wouldn't have missed. I don't think she would have cared if she missed. I think she would have felt guilty afterward. But in that moment, I think her revenge clouded her judgment, and she was willing to kill Isha to kill Jinx. Like, if Isha was just in the way. I don't fuck with that either. Because grief doesn't turn you into a fascist dictator. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. But just because I understand where her character is coming from doesn't mean I agree with it. Lastly, also, Caitlyn blames the crimes of Zonites on Jinx as if her being a figurehead for a movement that would have existed regardless of her standing in the world is the reason for all of this chaos. And I don't like that either because it's absolving. Like, you don't understand that these people's anger is justified and is a direct connection to the prejudice and ignorance they've suffered at the hands of Piltover for literal years. Like, so when you try to put it all on Jinx, like, oh my god, this wouldn't be happening if Jinx didn't it kind of absolves your people's involvement in the oppression and destruction of the Undercity. Like, Jinx is just a face for the cause. And I won't lie and say she didn't stoke the flames, but the fire was gonna be lit regardless. The fire had already been lit. It was gonna happen regardless. So stop trying to like make your people seem as though they're not like also involved in this. I didn't like that. So yeah. Now we're going to move on to Act 2. Isha being Jinx's surrogate sister is one of the best things they could have done for Jinx's character. I always understood Jinx, always understood her, but I didn't always like her. I thought she was way too chaotic, and I honestly thought somebody should have put her out of her misery in season 1. I was like, bitch, just kill her. Just kill her. But I have a different outlook on it now, because seeing her with Isha after mourning Silco like gave me such a different insight into her character with a different and softer side to her. And Isha was so gentle and so brave and so badass. Like, I loved that child. Like, did you see how she was fucking up Rictus? Don't ever let Isha put the paws on you, bitch. Or the teeth. Because that bitch is an ankle biter for real. Like, she will bite the shit out of you. Genuinely. So I loved that. And I also loved how gentle she was with Vander. I loved how gentle she was with Vander. Which leads me to Vander's revival. That was one of my biggest pet peeves in media. Wait, don't leave. Oh. Hold on, wait, come back. Oh. I don't like when they revive characters just to kill them again. I'm talking about Vision from the MCU. I'm talking about Vicky Donovan from Vampire Diaries. Can I just, side note, can I see over here? I don't like how many times Vicky Donovan was a fucking problem in the Vampire Diaries. Like, way more than she should have been a problem. Am I right or am I right here? Who the fuck was on the writers' team advocating for the Vicky Donovan stands? Are there even Vicky Donovan stands? Do they exist? Why the fuck was she such a big character that just kept coming back? I didn't care about her when she first came. I didn't care about her when she died the first time. I didn't care about her when she came back. I never cared about that bitch. Why do you keep bringing her back? Also, Vision. I was so sure he was gonna stay, and then he died again. And I was like, oh. And to me, reviving a character just to kill them again is often a cheap shot at like trying to produce more tragedy for the plot. And I don't think it serves the purpose it means to serve a lot of the time, except for in Vander's case. Vander's revival served its purpose through and through. He came back and brought his daughters back together and then died again. And I respect the hell out of that plot line. I loved it down. The watercolor animation, blisters in bedrock, literally naming Violet, chef's kiss. It was beautiful. I loved it. Every second of it. So that leads me to Act 3. Vander's revival is a very big part of why I hated Jace for most of the season. I hated Jace so bad when he came back looking all grizzly and hot. Sorry, that was supposed to be an inside thought, but he did look hot. Sorry. And then he came and fucked everything up. And I blamed him for Vander's death. I blamed him for Isha's death. I even blamed him for progressing in Vesta's like fascist ass regime. Because I just felt like, what the fuck are you doing, my nigga? Where did you go that you felt like you had to do all this shit? Where did you go? But I was wrong. And I don't admit that lightly. Or ever, honestly. I think I just don't like Jace, which is weird because I can't even really explain why that is. He's just annoying to me. Like, but I also understand him. Like, all he wanted to do was progress their world with the magic that saved his mother's life. And somehow ended up being manipulated and placed as a cog in a corrupt system that he never wanted to be involved in. And then it distanced him from the partner he literally loves more than anything. And he's also dying. So, yeah. And he's also trying not to get like his magic taken advantage of and like use it to hurt people when he made it to actually help them. And I respect him for that. And now he's like a fucking political figure, like hello, and a crazy bitch just bombed his girlfriend and his partner. And now the thing he's created has become so distorted and disfigured that it like leads to these insane repercussions. And then he gets trapped in the upside down of fucking alternate universes just to come back with a passion to kill the partner that he started all of this with. Like, what the actual fuck? I would have a stroke if I was Jace. But I still didn't really care for his character. I'm sorry. I didn't care about him until like the end. And I was like, oh, that's why you're crazy. I see. Okay. Speaking of alternate dimensions, if you think I can finish this video without talking about the man, the little man, the myth, the legend, the boy savior himself, Echo, you're sorely mistaken. He actually takes up way more space in my brain than he should. Echo is the only character who is actually not that complex. And I don't mean that as a dig into the writing. I mean that he is just a morally good person. Like, I don't think there's ever been a moment in the show where I'm like, Echo, that was too much. Echo, you shouldn't have said that. Echo, that was annoying. Like, nothing. There were no moments where I questioned his morals. I was like, this nigga is thorough. He gets the job done, bitch. Yeah, he does. Because he's honestly better than me. Leaving a damn near perfect universe to go back to my shitty one because I'm obligated to isn't enough of a reason for me. I would stay there. I would for sure stay there. But he didn't, and I love him for it. And that's why he deserved a seat at the council, because he literally saved the day and ended up alone. And I'm not saying Savika didn't deserve a seat at the council. I'm just saying Echo built a fucking sanctuary in a community of people with fresh air and a fucking tree when he was a literal teenager, and was all the while dismantling the drug operation Savika was directly a part of. Like, hello? And he didn't get a seat at the council, but she did. I'm just saying they could have gave 2 seats. Like, what's going on? I think he deserved to be on the council, but maybe I'm just like an Echo stan, and that's fine. I'll be that. Okay, so now we're gonna end with some final thoughts. I don't like CaitVi, and I know what you're thinking. How are you a lesbian and you don't like CaitVi? Like this. This is how. I think they're too toxic and just overall not good for each other. I think they have a lot of biases to work through from their respective classes. And then when I say that, I mostly mean Kate, because I feel like her privilege kind of serves as a mask, and she can't really see through it sometimes, and can't really see through it enough to like understand where Vi is coming from. So I don't like that. I also felt like the sex scene was so oddly placed. Like, why are they fucking right now? It felt like that is something that I felt like felt rushed. That's it, literally. Where I was just like, they're just trying to feed the CaitVi stands before the show ends, so they're just giving a sex scene wherever they can put it, which I didn't like. I didn't care for that. But anyway, second point, I don't think the show is rushed. I keep seeing this all over, like, oh, the show is so rushed. They did wait all this time and then it rushed and da 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 da. I think it's fast paced, and that might sound synonymous, but it is not. To me, yes, the last 3 episodes, pedal was to the fucking metal. But there was nothing that to me that wasn't unfounded and didn't like felt like it came out of fucking nowhere, except for the CaitVi sex scene. That's literally it. Mel's story, which I see a lot of people bring up when they bring up this rush thing, I feel like Mel's story like is a link to another part of the universe that they're gonna expand on. And I didn't mind that it was an Easter egg because it served its purpose. Like, it wasn't like they brought it up and they have no intention on bringing it up again. I think they're going to bring her story back, and that it was this like her whole storyline was context for what they're planning to do with her character. So I actually didn't mind Mel's story. Also, stop dogging on my girl Mel and being like, she's in the way of Jason Victor. Shut the fuck up. Next point. I quite enjoyed Victor's arc. I saw some people really didn't like it and said it ruined his character, but in my opinion, the worst thing you can do to ruin a character is to make sudden and unfounded changes. If somebody makes a full 180 and doesn't like explain, that has no rhyme, no reason, no nothing, then that ruins the character, because it's like, why are they doing this? They have no motivation. I think Victor's storyline was created with care and intention. Like, everything he did made sense. Did it lean somewhere I didn't expect it to go? Absolutely. But it makes sense why it leaned that way. We literally can see him slowly descend into like this god complex. He wanted to help people with magic, and he wanted to build a legacy and a name for himself. That's why him and Heimerdinger were trying to relate when he was about to kill himself, because he was dying, and his magic, the thing that he helped create, wasn't being used the way he thought it should. And he didn't have his name on it the way Jace had his name on it. So he felt like all his work was for nothing. So once that fucking arcane like gets distorted and disfigured, he tells Jace to destroy it. He doesn't. It fuses with him to save his life after he thought he was gonna die. When he wakes up, he's like, "Am I here? Why can't I finish my video?" Editing Shadira here. I'm gonna read directly from my notes because I don't have the patience for this bullshit anymore. But someone came to my house to drop something off, so I completely forgot what I was saying, and the next clip doesn't even adjoin with the last one. So I'm just gonna connect the two right now. Once Victor saw the distortion of the arcane and he told Jace to destroy it and he didn't, and it fused with him, after waking up, he thought he should have died. And he felt like he had a destiny because he didn't, like he was meant for something. So his character leaned more in that direction. He started doing what he said he wanted to do from the beginning, helping people with magic and making that legacy and name for himself. He was disabled and different, so he wanted to absolve the people from that same feeling. To me, it made sense and it didn't feel rushed or out of character at all. It just leaned in a different direction, but it came from a place. Now I'm going to talk about my next final thought. So just bear with me here. What I learned from this show is that there is a lot of beauty in complexity. Nothing is black and white unless we want to see it that way. Almost everything has a story or a reason behind it, whether it aligns with your morals or not. Do I understand Caitlyn's grief clouding her judgment? Yes, absolutely. But does it make me like her? Absolutely not. Am I fully aware of Ambessa's motivation for the colonization of Piltover? Again, yes. Do I wish Victor had a more happy ending that stuck to his character in the beginning? No, honestly, like kind of, but like no, because there's beauty in the fact that he did change, like that everyone changed. Caitlyn's anger is more than founded, but it doesn't justify her gassing people and shooting at a child. And Bessa wanting to get revenge for her son is also founded, but it doesn't excuse her fascism. So now we're gonna add the next clip. So that's what that was. Bye now. It's like no one wants to fucking know my thoughts on Arcane because I've recorded this video 3 times already. My mic cut out. Now my phone storage is full. What the fuck? Anyway, I'm gonna get right back into this so I can finish this godforsaken video. Okay. Victor wanting to absolve the world of conflict and war is a great reason to want to help people. But stripping them of their humanity is inexcusable. So, what I love about this show is its ability to make me sympathize with people I would usually fucking hate. Everyone has a reason, everyone has a motivation, everyone has a drive for an action they make, but they leave it up to the viewer to decide whether or not that motivation or reason is justifiable. And I appreciate that. It makes me think about the writer I want to be and how I want to tell my stories. And I just loved Arcane. So that's the end of this video because I genuinely can't take it anymore. So if you have any thoughts or opinions, please put them in the comments. Tell me what you think about Caitlyn's story arc and all that, and Victor's story arc. I want to know. And also, if you like play League, tell me what you think. But don't spoil shit for me because I will come and find you. But, you know, tell me what you think. Anyway, enjoyed this video. Sorry, I'm trying to rush and finish this video before something goes wrong. If you enjoyed this video, you know, drop a like, subscribe, watch all of our previous videos. Ariane posted a lot this month, and I love her for it. I adored every video that she posted. So, you know, go watch those real quick, you know? And I will see you guys next time. Bye!